from the J.C. Newman Cigar Studios in the great state of New Hampshire and the Gurkha Cigar Studios in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. Welcome to the Smokin Tabacco Show with your hosts, Matt Tobacco and Kevin Acuff.
Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Smokin Tabacco Show. I'm Matt Tobacco from SmokinTabacco.com, and I'm joined once again by my very good friend, Kevin Acuff, in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. Kevin, how's it going, buddy?
Matthew, it is going wonderful, my friend.
You know, I have to say, we've talked about the... Sorry, I just really wanted to get this lit because, I've been looking forward to this cigar all day. I'm just going to be honest with you. We'll do the ads and we'll get into it, but I'm smoking a Perdomo 30th, and I'm very excited about it because it's very good. I have to say, though, you've had the big beard for a while, but I'm noticing, you're like... I don't want to use the wrong word and make it sound like maybe it's like your upkeep or whatever. It's looking better and better every week. You becoming one of those beard guys that spends all their time making sure it's all brushed and it's trimmed. It looks fucking great.
I mean it's groomed and trimmed, and it has the beard oil and the beard balm and all that stuff on it every morning.
Dude, it looks great. It looks smooth and
It still needs a little bit of a trim, but
the camera's helping you tonight. You honestly,
how about that?
You're starting to look like Kurt Kendall. You got the Kurt Kendall look. I'm telling you. We should have you and Kurt on and be like, who wears it better, and find out who's got the better beard. I don't know. I mean,
my beard game is strong.
Because Kurt's pretty good with his too. Kurt wears his very well, very well. So yeah, I mean, you're giving Kurt Kendall a run for his money with the Big Beard Club. I mean,
it's taken me about 3 years to get to this point, so I appreciate it, Matt. Yeah, cheers.
Yeah,
thank you.
I have vitamin water, so I'll cheers to that. But, but yeah, no, I was looking at it, I'm like, damn, Kevin's looking good with that beard, man. He's just, he's really wearing it well. It's a little more white now, but that's okay. It's all right.
Yep, I didn't don the Dixon tonight. I actually need to get some Dixon with the Smokin Tabacco logo that you can't see because it's blocked by my microphone. But that'd be pretty cool to have some Dixon shirts with the Smokin Tabacco logo on them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Why not? Just put it on everything. You know what I mean? I mean, you have permission to use the name, obviously. So yeah, whatever fucking knock yourself out. That'd be awesome.
We can release the Smokin Tabacco edition Dixon shirt.
It's a limited collab.
Exactly.
4 patterns, 26 states.
Yeah,
very limited
to 4 shirts. 4 shirts in 2 states.
Should get Dixon to be a sponsor of the show. That's something. You know what I mean? Cut out the middleman.
That would actually be freaking cool.
I know.
And I actually do have connections there. So
yeah, we should make that happen.
So we should. There should maybe be a phone call made.
Why do we limit ourselves to just cigar companies for advertising? We got to really think outside the box here. I mean, there's a whole world of opportunity out there. Dixon shirts, boom. I don't know. This is what happens when we get together. Shit comes out.
The sky's the limit.
I know, and we have a guest with us tonight whose family, they pretty much exude the sky's the limit. If you think it,
yes,
it will happen. So, very excited to get him on the show because his whole family, they know what we're talking about right now. They get it.
Let's get him in here.
Let's do it. So, without further ado, very excited about this guest. This is someone who I've been wanting to have on the show for a while. His dad's been on this show several times, and it's always a great time when he's here, and I love him to death. But it's his turn. It's time for the third, not junior, but the third, to take the reins on the show tonight. That's right. Nicholas Perdomo joins us from sunny Miami, Florida. Let's get him on here. There he is. Look at him. This stud. Look at this kid.
Good evening, guys. Thank you for having me, Matt.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Good to see you, Nicholas.
Great to see you. Thank you, guys.
It's always a pleasure when our paths cross with the Perdomos. I don't know what it is. It's something special about you guys. I mean, from the cigars you guys make to the way you guys do business, the way you guys carry yourselves. I mean, it's refreshing, I think is the word I want to use. It's very refreshing. It's exciting. I've known you guys for a long time, so it's always great to see you and at least catch up. But yeah, no, glad to have you on the show. We have a couple of things we want to talk about tonight. It's I'm smoking the 30th, and Kevin's smoking the ESV, and we'll kind of talk about those very specifically, those projects, and then maybe some other stuff that it's in the pipeline that I'll maybe try to pick your brain on as much as I can. But before we get too into the show, we got to talk about a couple of things that make this show happen, with a couple of people to help us make this show happen. And the first thing we're going to do is talk about what we're smoking with our friends at the number 2 guyscigars.com. That's right, the number 2 guyscigars.com. If you head over there today, you'll find every Perdomo cigar that's available, and more. Almost every cigar from the industry, every cigar accessory, you name it, is available over there. You'll never find a better collection at the number 2 guyscigars.com. Nicholas, you are a guest. I assume you're smoking one of the Perdomo cigars. What are you smoking with us tonight?
Tonight I am not smoking, unfortunately. I got a problem with my tonsils that I'm getting fixed. So.
Oh, no! Well,
Yeah,
tonsil trouble's rough, so I feel for you on that one, and I don't blame you at all.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's okay.
I'll be good in a couple of days.
Yeah, that's all you need. You'll be all right. Power through.
Yeah.
As I mentioned before, Kevin, you're smoking the ESV. I believe you're smoking the Sun-Grown, correct?
I am the ESV Sun-Grown. This is still to this day. I mean, you can't get them anymore unless you're lucky enough to find them like I did. And this, hands down, is probably one of my all-time favorite Perdomo cigars. I mean, I'm a fanboy for their Sun-Grown wrappers, and this one just, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I've always said, and Kevin, you're just like me, and Nicholas, you know this, and your dad knows this for sure. I've said it so many times. When it comes to sun-grown cigars, Perdomo's always been my favorite. I mean, I've always held the Perdomo sun-grown as kind of like the sun-grown standard for me. It's something about them that you guys just got it right, and they're my favorites. Out of all the cigars you guys make, whether it's the 20th, whether it's the Habano, the barrel aged, whether it's the 10th, whatever it is, all the blends, the sun-grown always takes it for me. I will say, while I do like all 3 of the 30ths, the Connecticut is really grabbing at me personally right now. So it's a little strange, because I'm always like, yeah, the sun-grown, and I get on, and I'm like, yeah, that's the one. And I smoked them all, but I smoked the Connecticut, and I was like, I don't know. This time, the Perdomo's got me all mixed up. The Connecticut's got me excited, so I don't know. It could be a change here.
That's
we have
actually a good thing. Expand your palate.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Nicholas?
Yeah, our sun-growns are very special. All our sun-growns, we grow them in the Jalapa Valley. It's lighter, sandier type of grounds, but very mineral-rich grounds, and it produces not only some of the most complex type of wrappers in terms of spice and sweetness at the same time, but really, I think we get some of the smoothest, softest type of tobaccos because of the ground contents, but there's some sweetness, some beautiful aromas that come off those tobaccos for wrappers and even our filler tobaccos. So it's something we're proud of, but I'm glad you like them. I really do. I'm glad you both enjoy them.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, just keep making them. Just keep making them. I mean, they're great. They're delicious.
Thank you.
And I can't say enough about them. They're fantastic. But I also wanted to talk about what we're cutting and lighting with, and it's funny when I bring this next segment in here. SD Dupont, has been a partner of this show for about a year now. Nothing but the best here at Smokin Tabacco. Cutting and lighting, always using SD Dupont. We got our Maxi Jet Fluo lighters. I got the orange. I think Kevin's got the blue. Fantastic. I mean, if you know Dupont, you know it's quality. I know the Perdomos, quality, tradition, excellence. It's the same at SD Dupont. I mean, it's quality, tradition, and excellence. They've been around a long time. Every product they make, I don't have to tell you guys. You guys know. I think they think they did a Perdomo line 2 lighter for the 30th last year with you guys. Yeah, I mean, I was talking to Les Mann earlier today. He said to shout out NP3. I said NP3. He's going to have NP3 on the show. Make sure you tell him I said, what up, NP3? I think he's going to watch the show tonight. I don't know if he's on yet, but... oh, yeah, there he is. There he is. There's Les Mann in the comments. I see him. So I gave him a shout out.
He is the man.
So, yeah, absolutely. Go head over to the number2guyscigars.com. They should have DuPont products. If not, ask your local retailer about ST DuPont products. Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. I had something else I was going to bring up too. But, and I do want to if you guys don't mind, I don't want to forget about this really quickly before we really get into the show. We're entering our last week. It's 7 days, week from today. The last week of our Cigar Family Charitable Foundation fundraiser that we do every year. For those who are not familiar, we do it every year. We've raised well over $100,000 the last couple of years for that foundation, and it's a really amazing cause. Fuente and Newman families pay all the administrative costs for this. All the money goes directly to the kids. I've been down there myself. I've met the kids. I've been to the school. It's truly a beautiful place. But we are holding our raffle. We got 1 week to go. And I'm going to post the link in the comments for those who want to go and check it out. We actually have we're at an even 19,000 as of right now that we have raised with a week to go. So let's get that up there. Let's raise some money for these kids and let's change their lives. But I will post the comments. Now, one of the things I want to kind of make this quick. I don't know if I'm really going to go through all of these, but I will say that we extended it. We talked about that there's prizes that were added. The Fuente sent us some more things that they'd like to raffle off to raise some more money. All of those have been received. They've been processed, and I believe they're going up on the site tonight, maybe tomorrow. I'm going to try to do them as fast as possible. But if not, I'm at least going to post what's being added on social media and whatnot, so you guys will know. I know a lot of people have been asking. I was only waiting on them to come in and actually get them to see what's there. So I have done that. I know what's there. There's a lot of cool stuff. I will put it up, and everyone who's interested, head over to the page, donate today. Whatever you can. We appreciate it, and I know everyone involved at Cigar Family Charitable Foundation appreciates it as well. And get your raffle tickets, and maybe you'll get something cool out of it too, while you're also helping change someone's life. So that's my spiel on that for tonight. I'll post the link in the comments, and you guys can check it out too. So I'll try to pin it again. I know Spare Notes, we had an issue pinning the link; it wouldn't stay at the bottom, but I'm gonna post that and try to pin it.
Amazing charity, and a little goes a long way, guys. So help
it really
us
does
get to that 20 grand.
All right, I'm going to pin that comment, and hopefully it stays there. I don't know. But yeah, so that's in the comments. But anyway, so now that I've gotten through that, so let's get back to Nicholas. I don't want to take too much away from you. I mean, this is your time on the show. First and foremost, one of the things I'm going to start with first, 30th anniversary. It's the cigar that, it's the newest cigar from Perdomo. It's not, you guys don't release a cigar every year. So when you release something, it's a big deal. I know you guys have been working on that project for a long time, and it's just starting to, I think, when did that ship to stores? Was that like very end of last year? Like fall?
Yeah, it was November.
Okay.
Actually end of October.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't, because I remember when they came out, it was kind of close to like our deadline for what we, our cutoff for end of the cigar of the year stuff. I remember you guys were like just outside, and I said, "Oh, they're gonna have to fall to 24." Yeah, very exciting. I think it's something that a lot of people knew was coming for a while, and I know that you guys had some delays with packaging on your actual 30th anniversary. I know it kind of got pushed out a year, but sometimes things are worth waiting for, and I think this was definitely one of them. Smoking through them, I mean, once again, you guys have done an amazing job, with the cigars you've made. But I'm gonna turn now to you, being a next generation in the family business, working on something that's such a symbol of your family's commitment to everything you guys have done. Just talk to me about, what's it been like to just be a part of this, with, your dad and everyone else. That's just something that's truly so special.
Specifically in regards to 30th, or just in general my entire life?
Honestly, I was kind of going with 30th, but you know what? Maybe all of it. Maybe all of it, because I mean,
Sure. I mean, my whole life I've seen my dad come out with brands, and I've seen my dad blend many cigars, a lot, and this one was a brand where really my dad wasn't involved in. This was it was a surprise. It was a surprise in honor, and for my mom and my dad, it was the brand's in honor of them. The packaging, everything. My dad saw it, everything literally until the day before the show last year, when
Right.
we released it at PCA, and it's been an incredible journey, really, and just learning so much about what goes into making the brand, making the cigar, and doing it the right way, and execution and organization is really everything. It was a great learning experience for me. It was probably the most involved I've ever been in a project for a new brand, and it was just absolutely incredible. Going back to the drawing board many times in terms of the cigars, making sure the blends were correct, making sure we had the proper inventories of tobacco, just really just being as organized as possible, I think was the biggest lesson I learned. But it's just been unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I remember your dad came on last year, I think, right after they were formally presented at PCA. They hadn't been released yet, but it was out there. It was they were showing off, and we had smoked some, and on the show with him, and they were great. I think I smoked the Connecticut on that show too, and I remember I'm gonna have you kind of fill in the blanks here because my brain's a little foggy. I remember your dad saying, so I think it's the wrapper tobacco that has some serious age to it. I want to say like 15 years on the wrapper tobacco. Is that correct?
The wrapper and filler tobaccos. This was a project. All the tobaccos are certified from our crops from 2007, 2008. It was a bumper crop that we had.
Wow.
In Esteli, Jalapa, and Condé. We had a really 2007, 2008 really treated the Perdomo family really well, and my dad wanted to use it for our 25th anniversary, but as you guys know, we have a 10th anniversary, 20th anniversary, and we like to end our anniversaries with a 0. So my dad said we're going to wait because we wanted to use that tobacco when it was 10-year age tobacco. So we held off, and we decided to utilize the tobaccos, these 15-year age tobaccos, in our Perdomo 30th anniversary. So yes, you are correct. The tobaccos are certified 15-year age tobaccos.
I'll tell you, you can taste it too. I mean, real clean. I mean, Kevin, I know you've smoked them too. I mean,
it was definitely worth the wait. I mean, one of the things I was going to say is, I mean, you see, like there's like when you have anniversary cigars and whatnot, there's a lot of hype behind them, when they're announced and whatnot, and then it's a question of whether they live up to the hype or not. These, I think, exceed all expectations of the hype that they generated. I mean, they're just outstanding cigars all across the board.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's just they're special, and I think the aging has a lot to do with it. I mean, the tobaccos, I think I would describe them from the Connecticut wrap cigars to the Sun-Grown to the Maduro. They're very soft, but they deliver really rich, full flavors. I think for us, it's our Allen 25. It's very smooth, but you got to remember they're tobaccos that we grow in Nicaragua, so there's a lot of body to those tobaccos. But maintaining tobaccos, making sure before we made them into cigars, and when they were bale aging, and making sure that the proper humidity, controlling the temperature and the humidity, that was kind of the game, so the tobacco would stay fresh and really just keep marinating, and that's what we did. And I think the tobacco was unbelievable.
yeah, I think all three of them now have been reviewed at Smokin Tabacco. So if you head over to smokintobacco.com, you can see reviews on all three of the new blends of the 30th anniversary. The Connecticut, the Sun-Grown, and the Maduro. The Maduro just dropped this week. Scored the highest. Spoiler alert. Scored the highest and is a serious contender for Cigar of the Year. I mean, if you follow along with the process, I mean, there's really nothing to hide, or it's out in the open for everyone to see. I mean, so that's already. I mean, your 30th Maduro is already in the top of the list, for the year. So I mean and it's not really a surprise. I mean, when you guys released, you had discontinued the 10th, the Sun-Grown, in the Champagne Noir, the Champagne Sun-Grown, and then you came out with the 10th Sun-Grown, the 10th Maduro a few years back. And I remember both of those cigars were top of everyone's list. I believe you guys were near the top of our list with that cigar. And I've kind of noticed a trend lately that Perdomo Maduros are really performing well the last couple of releases. So I don't know. This could be the year. Perdomo could take it. It could be a Maduro, and I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this all shakes out.
Music to my ears. Let's do it.
Yeah. So I'm really excited for that. Now, one of the things I'll say is I wanted to say, so to kind of bring Kevin back into the loop here. So Kevin is smoking the ESV, which I figured I'd bring this up, and I figured, I'd ask you, and I don't know, while I have you here. But Kevin and I were talking about this before the show, and as you know, we really love the ESV. But you guys aren't making them. So is there any plan to bring it back? Is this something that's going to be kind of returned to the rotation at some point? Are you guys done with ESV? Because I know we both want to buy some more. So.
Yeah, and I have a great question. I mean, the brand's currently out of production. The reason for that is because we ran out of tobaccos. We don't want to be disingenuous and just take a band and put them on the different cigar. And you guys smoked a bunch of them, and you guys know the cigar. And you'll tell me, hey, this isn't the same cigar I smoked. Could there eventually be a evolution or another version of an ESV? It could happen, sure. But we'll try to make it as close as possible. But the original one's done, man. I'm glad you guys enjoyed them. But we got some new things coming too.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I know that we've talked, and you told us when I saw you at the trade show. You had mentioned that there was something that you were working on, but I know you didn't say too much, but I know you got something cooking. So I don't know how much you'll share with us tonight, but I know you got something going on.
Got something very special, something unique, something I've been working on. We're going to be coming out with it next year in 2025, and we're something. It's by the time we release the cigar, it'll be almost 5.5 years from the time I worked on it to the actual release. So a lot of work. Just working in the packaging. Arthur Kemper really did an amazing job assisting me. We already have the packaging done. The cigar's done too. I just literally chose the final blend. If you could think of any type of tobacco from the country of Nicaragua, binder, filler tobaccos, and even wrapper tobaccos from not only just Nicaragua, but from other countries, I used it. I did it, and I wanted to go outside. And, my dad taught me about cigars, obviously, in terms of blending and what to look for in a cigar. And with his knowledge and my tastes, I think we're going to have a very special, unique cigar with tobaccos that are from the country of Nicaragua, but have never been used before in any Perdomo cigar ever. So it's going to be very different. Really?
Okay. Now, I noticed that, Perdomo is, it's always been like a Connecticut Sun-Grown Maduro. Is it still going to kind of fall into that, or is it you going to maybe shake up that tradition that you've done with the blends?
It could be. I think I might start with one wrapper.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. This
not your precedent for too much info.
Your dad's probably like, don't say too much. Don't say too much.
It's my thing. He's also he wants to hear it too because he doesn't really know too much about it. Even though I'm not going to surprise him, because when we surprised him with 30th anniversary, I got to tell you, it was and Arthur Kemper could attest to it. It was a very thankless job. My dad doesn't like surprises too much. That was a very hard job for us to keep that secret, the surprise. So that won't be happening. So I'm going to keep him in the loop as much as possible.
So, a couple of things. So first thing I want to say is, so obviously, I mean, you're the next generation. We talk about this a lot. We just had Lito Gomez Jr. on the show. We've had some other people on the show. You know, getting kind of to that point where a lot of you guys, your families, you know, you had kids, and you know now you guys are all grown up and you're getting into the family business. And you know, you obviously have been involved for a while, and you know you're no exception. You know, it's gotta take the reins at some point. You know, you have to kind of start doing some stuff on your own and kind of being like, hey, like Dad, I can do this, and not that you don't need them, but you know, you can kind of like hang on your own now and show them like, hey, you know, someday, you know, you won't be around, but like, hey, I got this, and I'm gonna take the torch and run with it. And you kind of slowly getting to that point now. You're doing some stuff on your own. It's got to feel, you know, extra special. You know, knowing like, hey, like I'm kind of coming into my own now. You know, it's my time.
Well, I mean, you know, there's a lot of truth to that too, and you know, I've been a part of the company. Obviously, I've been around it my whole life, but I've been over a decade working with the company, and my dad started me from the bottom. So, you know, I really wanted to learn everything from the bottom up, and you know, in terms of this project coming up, this is in honor of him. I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be sitting here with you guys if my dad didn't take a risk in the early '90s and started a company to supplement his income. So, you know, my dad created brands in honor of his grandfather, which was Edition de Silvio, which we had out in the market for about 13 years, and then Perdomo Patriarch in honor of my grandfather, his dad, we had out in the market for about 7 years. So I think it's his turn to get some recognition. He's deserved it. I mean, he's put over three decades in. So the only reason I know the difference between a tobacco leaf and a banana leaf is because of my dad. So
it's the way it should be. It's the way it should be. You know, you learn from your dad, and you know, I've always said, you know, the cigar industry is so special because of that. It's a small industry. You know, when you talk about, you know, premium cigars, you know, it's a small industry. It's mostly family run for the most part. You know, again, quality, tradition, excellence, right? Tradition, which I know is huge with your family, as it is with many of the families in the business. You know, most of you guys are all, you know, Cuban descendant families that I know kind of very stick to the culture there. You're very family oriented. You're very tradition, and you stick with, you know, the core values that, you know, you guys all, you know, hand down generation to generation, which I admire and I think is special, and I think it's what makes the business what it is and unique. And yeah, I mean, it's you guys have done a great job with that, and to watch you kind of now, you know, and you're right, your dad's been around a long time, obviously getting a lot of recognition. You know, he's accomplished a lot. He's had a lot of success, a lot of major achievements. But it is cool though, you know, seeing you now, you know, kind of getting into that fold, you know, like he was for so many years. Like, you know, now, you know, he's kind of up here, you know, doing his thing, but like you're right behind him, and it's really special to watch, you know, the following, you know, the footsteps there, and it's, you know, it's a little emotional too. I mean, you see that it's not something I think every family business I think kind of wants. You know, it's you to have your kids involved and see. But I don't think it always goes that way for every family. You know, but you know, you guys have done that, and I think you kind of exude that very well. So I'm excited.
I wanted to echo one of the things that Nicholas, you know, said just a few minutes ago. Is, you know, when his dad brought him in, he started him at the bottom. I mean, that's one thing, you know, from the media side and most importantly from the consumer side. You know, if you start at the bottom and you work your way up, I mean, you're getting into the nuts and bolts and learning the business from the ground up. And that's super encouraging to hear, especially as a consumer, because now now we know that you're going to have the same passion for it and whatnot that your dad did and his dad did, and everybody that's been responsible for making Perdomo the way it is So you're going to be able to see the company, survive on and on with the quality that we've come to expect from Perdomo. I mean, that's definitely a commitment to get in there and learn that.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, it's our family's everything to us, and you have your origin, right? You have where you come from, and I was always taught, even before we grew in the cigar industry, I was always taught to be proud of your. My dad taught me, you're a Perdomo, you got to be proud of yourself before we were anything in this industry. And, I'm very proud of my family, and I'm very proud to give me the torch, baby. I want to take it, and I want to make my family proud and my grandfather proud, who's no longer with us, unfortunately. And I'm very blessed to live the life that I live.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gone well for you, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
But while we're kind of on that subject of family and all that, kind of get away from cigars for a minute and the business and all that. I'm a new dad. Kevin's a dad. He's been a dad for a long time. You're also a new dad. So which I think is awesome, because I know exactly kind of like what you're going through too with that. It's really fun. You have a daughter. I have a daughter. Girl dads all the way. It's I don't have to. I know, and it's
over.
It's over.
See that little pink thing in the back corner on this side? There's a little car, and then a bunch of things floating in the water. That's all her toys. Because she's a little water rat. She likes to be in the water. And I got a playground coming in the back. It's going to take up my beautiful artificial grass that I really liked. Walking in and out. It's going to be an entire playground set. So
yeah, it happens.
Hey, priorities, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your daughter's name is Lucy.
Yeah.
So, and how old is Lucy now? Remind me.
She's 14 months. Just celebrated a year, a couple months. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Anastasia's.
How old's yours?
Anastasia's like 9.5 now, months. So, yeah, we're I can't believe we're already almost at a year. So.
By the way, I saw a picture. She's gorgeous. She's cute. And let me tell you, there's no doubt that is your daughter. There's no DNA tested needed. That is for sure tobacco. So that is your daughter.
We've been telling him that ever since the first time we saw her.
Your wife is a faithful lady, man. Good for you.
Thank you.
I will say, both of you have very beautiful daughters.
I was gonna say the same goes for you. I mean, I've seen your daughter. I mean, you guys did pretty good too. But thank you. I appreciate that. It was very nice. Thank you. Hey, we did good, right?
You guys did very well.
We did good. And I remember, before we had her, I remember your mom and dad. I saw you at Vegas at the trade show last year, right before she was born, because Nicole wasn't there because she was like 8 months pregnant.
Yes.
And I remember I ran into you guys, we were talking about it, and that was the first thing you guys said. You asked about Nicole, how's the baby doing? Everything okay? And then you guys gave me a lot of advice, and there was some things we talked about that I won't get into, but we talked about some personal stuff, some family stuff, and it was just so nice,
Sure.
And I appreciate that from you guys. I mean, you gave me a lot of good insight that I used, so thank you.
Good, brother. I'm glad.
Yeah. I mean,
God
but
bless Italy.
yeah. I mean, I was gonna ask you, about your daughter. I mean, because you're a little bit ahead of me, so I'm still discovering new things every day. But you're a little bit ahead of me. So what's been the most exciting part about being a dad so far for you?
Every day she progresses. She's a toddler. She's walking, and every day it gets more and more fun. And every day I look at my phone, I see a picture where I miss her. I'm like, man, I'd love to work and I love to be at work, but man, I can't wait to get home. I can't wait to see my little girl.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know.
Life revolves around the kids, for sure.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best change ever.
Yeah, and I remember when I told your dad, we first talked about we're pregnant, and you guys were all excited. Your dad was like, "Yeah, just keep them coming, just keep them coming, yeah, just keep going, man. Just don't stop."
Easy for him to say. Only had 2.
Yeah, Yeah.
Well, I definitely got to say, just watching the social media posts and whatnot, Nick and Janine are very proud grandparents. It's
Oh
like you
yeah.
can totally see when they have her. I mean, just how their faces light up. It's like they love her to death, and you can totally tell.
We're blessed.
Yeah, no, I mean it is it's life changing. It's something special, and you know, Kevin, you're obviously a lot further along than we are. I mean, your kids are all grown up, so you know,
I actually have a 5-year-old granddaughter.
that's
So
true, and you're also a grandparent too. So
Congratulations.
yeah, so I was gonna say, so I mean, we could look up to you to be like, oh, like, you know, you've already gone through the whole thing. We're just starting out. We got a whole thing ahead of us. But everyone always says is how fast it goes. So, I mean,
oh, it goes super fast. And I mean, you know, I have two boys. You know, my oldest man, my oldest is 27, and my youngest is 24. So it's like they're definitely making me show my age.
yeah, everyone always told me they're like, yeah, you'll start going gray, like after the first few years of having kids, because like the stress sets in, and that's when you go gray. So I'm starting to go. It's in my face a little bit. I give myself probably another 4 years. I don't know. We'll see. Nicholas, you don't have a beard, so I don't know if you're going gray there. But are you getting grays up top yet? Like I haven't seen you in a while. Are you starting to go gray? Is it hitting you? Are you getting the dad gray yet, or you've been lucky so far?
My wife says she saw a couple gray hairs, and I haven't seen it. So I don't believe it. So
Yeah, I know it's coming. I know it's coming. It's already on my face. It's not up top yet, but it's like it's on my beard and my face. I'm like, it's coming. I'm going gray. I'm getting older.
yeah.
How old are you, Nicholas?
I'm 31. I'm gonna be 32 in a couple months.
Yeah, so you're not much older than me. I'm only 30. So, yeah, so we're pretty close there. We're pretty close.
Yeah,
You going for more?
of course.
Yeah, yeah. You got to like your dad won't let you have one. He's gonna be like, you give me 3, 4. You know, then we'll talk. I don't know. I don't know. Nicole's like kind of dropped a few hints recently. I don't know. So we'll see. We're gonna stick with one, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Sometimes things change, but it's at least, hey, you know what? After the first one's the hardest, because then you know everything. Then the second time around, you already know what to expect. So. Or at least that's the idea. I don't know. I'm probably wrong about that too. So.
Yes.
Yeah. So. But anyway, let's take a quick break. We're gonna go over the news, and
Sure.
Kevin, I'm gonna tee this up for you in just a second. 1 second. But we had a couple of new announcements this week, and sorry, 1 second. Couple of announcements this week. As you know, if you saw last week's spare notes, you know, we talked about, you know, Kevin, you were there. I mean, we talked about the industry just kind of being a little quiet lately. You know, we had the trade show, a lot of major events, a lot of trade show, and a lot of events, you know, kind of already happened. You know, in Q1, very early Q2. You know, stuff's been shipping out, and that's it. So it hasn't really been a lot of announcements because a lot of the new products have already been announced because they debuted at the show. They've been shipped. There's a lot that haven't been shipped, and there's even some stuff from last year's shows that have been shipped. But you know, a good amount of stuff has been, you know, starting to go out, and you know, so
Right.
it's been a little quiet. But this week we had a couple of newer things be announced. Surprisingly, after we did that whole show on Saturday, and then there was a couple of brands that announced some new stuff, and I know
Maybe they announced it just because they felt sorry for us, so they figured, you know what? Hey, now it's time to announce, right?
I know they must have heard the show and was like, all right, we gotta let some shit out.
Matthew needs some content.
Yeah, we all do. I mean, you know, it's not just us. I mean, you know, if you ask Coop will tell you. But you should have an announcement that from the website that I'm going to let you read off. But our news is once again brought to you by Micallef Cigars. If you head over to head over to SmokinTabacco.com, you'll find them featuring the Micallef Black, rated 91 by Kevin Acuff, and now featuring the Micallef Blue, which is just hitting stores now. So be sure to check that out. Now, Kevin, I know that this particular announcement will probably tickle you a little bit because I know you were very high on this blend last year when it came out. So now some expansions have happened, and I'm sure you're very excited to get into it. And I'll let you read it off for us.
I was very impressed with this blend, and this comes from good friend Michael Herklatz with Ferriotego. They are adding the Toro to the Suma line.
Yeah,
which is actually exciting news. It's like because they had it joins the Corona Gorda, the Torpedo, and the Gordo. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one performs. It was weird because I'm typically not a big ring guy, and the Suma and the Gordo was outstanding. I know, like, talking with Michael, they spent a lot of time on airflow and whatnot with that one to make sure it performs. So I'm sure the Toro, which is typically the size that I go to, I look forward to great things from this one.
Yeah, I think we had the Torpedo on the list last year.
We did. We had the Torpedo. We actually, I think it was in our top 5, if memory serves me right.
Yeah, it was high.
I actually picked the box of those up that we actually used for the review. I picked the box of those up at an event with Michael when we were visiting family back in Ohio. So that was really cool. I mean, the blend was launched in June of 23.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very cool. I'm actually looking here to see the. Do we have a retail price? I think the retail price is what, $190. Yeah, it's going to have and come in boxes of 10 for $195.
Yeah,
and the size is
6x52. I think it's 6x52.
I don't see it here. Oh yeah, 6 inch by 50. Yeah, they have to actually read words, not numbers. Yeah, 6x52.
Yeah,
in boxes of 10.
Yeah,
and the Suma. I mean, what a great cigar. Michael has been very successful with that brand since he launched the Ferriotego line, and just wow.
Yeah, I mean, all credit has to be given where it's due. I mean, what he's done in a short amount of time with that brand, I mean, you got to give it up for him. I mean, he's done a really good job. He's been successful, and he's put some good cigars out. And I mean, he had all the legacy stuff at Metropolitan Timeless, kept alive. But the new stuff, all the Ferriotego cigars, themselves. Yeah, I mean, he's done a great job. I mean, they've performed well. They ranked well. I think every year they've been on our list in some way, shape, or form.
They have been in some way, shape, or form. So
yeah, so hats off to Michael. Congrats on that. Look forward to trying that cigar again, and I'm sure you are too. And I'm sure you'll probably
for sure.
I know you'll probably even review that cigar too, because when the time comes, like, let's give it to Kevin. I know he wants it, so get to do another one. So, but that's our news for this week. Brought to you once again by Micallef Cigars. Let's bring Nicholas back on the show. I don't want to leave him off to the side for too long, but Nicholas, it's exciting to have you on the show. As I said before, you get a little break there with the news, but I gotta get you back in the hot seat here. So, looking down, 2025. I know you talked. So 2025 is the project you're working on. Is when we'll see that at the trade show in New Orleans.
Correct.
Yeah. So, would you say? Oh, sorry. Say that again.
We will unveil it at the trade show.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be exciting. Can't wait to kind of see what happens with that. New Orleans 2025. Show moves away from Vegas. As a manufacturer, this topic's kind of gone up and down a little bit over the last several months. But as a manufacturer, change of location, what is Perdomo's stance on that? Is you guys excited about this change? Is it better for you guys as a brand? You have concerns about this, like unfamiliar territory, kind of like as I've been kind of curious from the brands themselves, like it's kind of this whole change with the trade show situation. How has it been for you, and how do you see it going next year?
I mean, we're different, man. We like change. I mean, positive change, of course, and I think it's going to be positive. I look forward to the change of scenery. I think we're gonna get a lot more of our customers from the southeast, definitely the East Coast. I think it's going to be a little bit easier travel in terms of travel time. So we had a good one in 2015, and I think we're going to have a great show next year. And I'm looking forward to it. Wherever it's at, we're always going to support the show. And I know I look forward. That's the time of the year I look forward to seeing all of our top retailers in one spot. So, you know, I'm looking forward to it, and as a company, we are too.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting, to say the least. I've heard people who've been, you know, at the last one that was in New Orleans that kind of felt a certain way about it. Although then a lot of people have said, well, it's gonna be different. It's a different time of the year and this and that. So I've never been to New Orleans, so it's exciting for me to just see it, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be, I guess, refreshing to have a new location, and very curious to see how that show goes. But yeah.
My recommendation: go on a diet about 6 weeks before the show.
Yeah, because
it's different.
I know we're gonna eat a lot over there too. Different kind of food, but definitely a lot of eating.
You'll gain 20 pounds during the 4 days of the show.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. Nick, one of the Nicholas, I should say, Nicholas. Do people call you Nick, or is it mostly you kind of your dad's Nick and you're Nicholas? Or did you?
I've been called Nick my whole life until I got in the industry and I decided to choose Nicholas, and just to lessen the confusion between my dad and I, since we're both the same name. But I mean, all my friends still call me Nick, and if I hear Nick, I turn my head. You know.
Yeah.
So.
I just caught myself on that. I'm like, I don't know, but no, I wanted to ask you. I just kind of remembered. I wanted to ask you this earlier. On the 30th anniversary. Now I know when it was first launched and unveiled, and your dad had come on after that. We talked about it. I know that this hasn't been a full release for you guys. This has been you guys have only released it to a certain amount of stores, if I remember correctly. I don't remember how many, but I know it wasn't a full release on these. Is it still kind of a smaller release on the amount of retailers that have it, or have you guys started to expand that a little more and make it a little more available, or are you kind of still keeping it small?
My dream is, and our dream is, to expand it, but the reality is, unfortunately, we probably never will be able to expand it because you're talking about tobaccos, 15-year age tobaccos. The beautiful thing about the brand is there's longevity. We're using the original tobaccos from the crops of 2007, 2008, but the seed varieties, the regions that we grew that tobacco, we still grow today, and we still use the same seed variety. So as we age tobaccos and we bourbon barrel age the wrappers and so forth, we're going to have consistency within the blends. Now, the thing is that you take that tobacco so long and you stretch it as much as you can, you age it as long as you can. You know, there's a cost to it, and I think we've kept incredible price points, especially for a cigar with 15-year age tobaccos. I don't think anyone can touch us, but I think the whole thing is that it's such limited quantities. So I really, as much as I want to, and there's certain accounts I'd love to give it to, there's no game. It's just I have very minimal inventory that I can share with the original accounts that we sent it out to the end of last year. So the goal is, I hope so. Unfortunately, I don't think it will be because it is a very limited brand.
Right. I mean, yeah, and it is special. And if I remember correctly, I think this is the Epicure, and I think I paid. And I know this probably varies depending on what state you live in and all that, but you know, fortunately, we're lucky to live in New Hampshire, where it's a great place to buy cigars. And I think I paid like 12 and change for this cigar, which is, you know, for a cigar of that caliber, you know, talking about the age of the tobaccos and how well it performs, and that's a great price for the smoke you get out of this. Which I want to highlight because, there's a lot of cigars on the market today. And Nicholas, I know you guys probably look at competitors and probably see what people are charging for what they're putting out or whatever. And you guys have always done a great job of not being too expensive with your cigars. You guys have been very accessible for the majority of people. But yeah, I mean, I think it's also something to be said with what you guys have been able to create with this and keep it at that range price wise. I mean, it smokes way above that price range, price range.
A ton.
Yeah, I mean, this is a cigar that could go for $25. I mean, and it's 12 and change. It's 12 and change. I mean,
we want everyone to smoke cigars. We want people to be able to smoke that type of caliber of tobacco. We want them to smoke the cigars. We want everyone to be able to. And it's my grandfather taught my dad taught me it's better to make a quick nickel than a slow dime. And also, we want our customers all across the board to be able to smoke these type of cigars. It's like the project I'm working on for my dad right now. The tobacco's very well aged, not as old as 30th, for example, but the cost of me making the cigar, because you'll see as we go on, and I'm not going to give away the details, but the wrapper tobacco is so different, so unique, probably one of ever grown in the country of Nicaragua. The cost for me to make this cigar is so expensive because the yields are much less than I have in my wrapper tobaccos from Jalapa, which yield a lot better. So I'm utilizing some of the most unique tobaccos on the new blend, on the new project from the country of Nicaragua. But the whole thing is that I'm going to make sure that the price is reasonable. I'm not going to make a cigar that people can't. They just smoke one of and say, well, this is all I can afford. What good is that? I think you do a disservice to your customers.
Yeah, I mean,
that's one of the things I think that really makes Perdomo stand out, amongst other brands is, you guys have very consistent quality cigars across the board. I mean, it doesn't matter if you smoke from your guys' bundle cigars to the 30th. I mean, the quality is going to be there. It's going to be a great smoking cigar, and you've actually priced them so, like you guys said, anybody can afford them, and that just makes it. I mean, that's literally leaps and bounds above what a lot of other people were doing, and I'm sure the consumers as a whole appreciate that.
I appreciate. Listen, my dad, back in 2008, 2009, when S-Chip came out, we were the only company to not only absorb S-Chips, but we lowered the prices of our cigars. It was an ingenious move by my dad. And today, very similar to back then, costs were so high. I mean, I went grocery shopping with my wife last week, and I saw the food costs. I'm just going, holy crap, man. I mean, this is nuts. I mean, eggs, milk, and everybody has, there's so much money in the household. You know what I mean? And I want people to be able to say, you know what, I had a tough week this week, or, whether they're celebrating and I want to smoke a cigar. I want them to smoke our cigars because they can afford it, especially in hard times like this, because the economy is a little rough right now. So we have to we look at everything outside of our industry, and I think that's also another thing that makes us very special.
I would say so. I mean, making it accessible is huge. And again, there's a lot of brands out there that would easily double the price tag on a cigar of this caliber. And they'd probably sell a lot of them too. I mean, they're probably not going to sell as much as you will because you're going to make it more accessible. But I guess at the same time, what I'm getting at is to, keep those values and keep the customers coming in happy is huge. But also to be able to reward a customer with that kind of budget with a cigar of this quality. I mean, you'd be a fool. You'd be a fool not to buy these by the box. I mean, what you're getting at that price point. I mean, like we've talked about, and Kevin, you and I have had this conversation about a couple other cigars that have come out recently that performed really well, and they were priced incredibly well. And it was like, when you compare them to other cigars that are kind of like in that, class, you put up that are $3, $4, $5, $6 more, and it performs better for so much less. It's like, how do you go wrong there?
It says a lot. It says a lot about the company behind it, because I mean, you have a cigar that punches I mean, like I'll just say, I mean, it punches, double its price point, and
Yeah.
punches way out of its weight class. But you have a company that is loyal to its consumers. It they understand where their consumers fall into the marketplace, and they release cigars of that quality so those consumers can continue and enjoy the brand as opposed to pricing it up. I mean, could they price it at $25? Absolutely, they could, and people would buy it. But the core base of the Perdomo consumer would maybe feel a little bit alienated. As okay, well now I have this ultra luxury cigar that like I want to smoke but I can't afford. So now you're actually able to put what would be considered by this let's take the 30th Maduro that just was reviewed by us as a 93. You have some ultra premiums that don't score 93. So now you have a cigar that's literally approachable by everybody that lives in the territory of the ultra premiums. And I mean, you can't duplicate that commitment to your customer base. You just can't.
Yeah, no, and I think that it's a great cigar, and you guys have done a great job. But I think that's the most impressive part for me, is the price point, well, at least the MSRP. The MSRP on and again, I know it costs money to make too, and I'm sure it's for you as a manufacturer. I mean, it's things are expensive too. Like you said, the economy's a little rough right now. Prices of everything's gone up. I know. We've had some people on who've talked about the price of tobaccos and what wrapper goes for, and feel that, and I don't know that stuff. I know you probably do, but I don't know that stuff because I don't really need to know it. But I know people have said the cost of tobaccos have just gone up, and I'm sure all the other things around manufacturing and cost to operate and have gone up too, and to be able to still deliver at that price point. I mean, I know it's not easy. So I mean, really, I think that is the most impressive part to deliver that and make it so accessible.
Mm-hmm.
That's I think the biggest takeaway from it.
Well, let me add to that, and then I would definitely like to hear Nicholas's comments on it. But I'm going to add to that the packaging that Perdomo does.
That too.
I've said multiple times on this show, and I've said, multiple times in writing and reviews and whatnot. Perdomo is an industry leader in packaging. I mean, when you walk into a B&M that is a Perdomo retailer, when you see the display, it just draws you in. And packaging isn't cheap. I mean, that just goes right to what Matt was saying about with inflation and the cost of everything. Packaging is a significant cost of cigars. So when you take into account the quality of the tobacco, the way these cigars smoke, and then the impact and visual appeal of Perdomo's packaging, I mean, like, holy shit. It makes you question sometimes how they do it and still make money.
And Nicholas, I know you and Arthur worked on the packaging for the 30th, as we talked about earlier, and once again, I mean, you guys did an amazing job on that. I mean, on the shelf.
I got to give credit. I got to give all the credit to Arthur Kemper on the packaging. So the way it went down was, I was supposed to be involved in that surprise, but what ended up happening was, I think it was too much for Arthur because he had it all bottled up inside. I mean, this is a guy who spent years and years waiting for us to leave the office. He'd either stay behind after hours and work with a graphic artist on the project, and then or take it home and do it. Take family time away, his family time. And I think it got to a point where he said, "Hey man, I got to show this to you." And I was like, "Come on, man, I can't believe it. Let me see it." And I saw it. I said, "Holy crap! I've never seen anything like this. This is unbelievable." And so I have to give him the credit for that. In terms of the cigars, I had input in the cigars in terms of the blending, in terms of the sizes and the blends themselves. That's where I was a little bit. That's where I was more involved in the whole project. But he was definitely the leader in artwork. But we have the best artists, in my opinion. We use a company called Vrydag out of Holland. And, listen, my dad always said it. He taught me, cigars are brown, shells are brown, boxes are brown. How are you going to stand out in the humidor? And, over 10 years ago, we went outside the industry and we really studied brands like Coca-Cola, product placement, marketing strategy, their packaging, colors and things like that. And the whole thing is that you got to stand out, and we work really hard in terms of how we market. And listen, it might sound crazy, but the hardest part for everyone, in terms of our competitors and any brand in our industry, the hardest part is making the cigar. For us, the hardest part is not making the cigar, because we have the tobaccos, we have the inventories, we're able to create brands when we need to. It's the hardest part is the packaging and coming up with the ideas, which sounds crazy because we're so confident in our people in Nicaragua, ourselves, our palates in terms of when we blend the cigars. So that's, for us, is kind of the easiest part, and which sounds crazy, but we put a lot of work into it, and we spend a lot of money on packaging. We spend lots and lots of money, but it's totally worth it. And I think it helps the value of the brand. I think it has only increased the value of our brand, and I think it's helped our retail partners turn more cigars, and it's a great investment.
Yeah,
Well, it shows. I would challenge anybody to walk into your facility in Miami and look at the display that you guys have in there. And
oh yeah,
I mean, guys, that's how packaging should be done. I mean, bottom line, it's like you walk in, and I mean, you can see it from across the room, and it just, when you look at that, and you just consider walking into, your regular B&M, and you see all that with the bright shiny colors and the shelf talkers and all this, it draws you in. So I mean, you can definitely tell that attention to detail, and we'll even go as far as to say, no expense spared on the packaging and making the product stand out on the shelf. I mean, it's been done by you guys. And I mean, I'm not just saying that because Nicholas is on the show. I've said that, many, many times before on multiple shows. Your guys' packaging impresses the hell out of me.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it. Thank you both.
Also, I don't think anyone uses more gold foil in their packaging than Perdomo. Not that that's a bad thing. Not that that's a bad thing. It really, it looks great and it pops, but man, you guys use a lot of gold foil.
We like gold, man.
Yeah, why you should. I mean,
we're
gold.
Cuban. We wear gold chains. We wear gold, gold jewelry. We like gold.
That's where the excellence comes in. Gold, excellence.
Shiny things attract eyeballs.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, really. I mean, from top to bottom, being a vertically integrated company, as and it's been talked about by everybody, including yourselves, time and time again. Being so vertically integrated, you guys can control everything. For the most part. I mean, I know sometimes like the packaging stuff has been delayed, and I know that's outside your control, but pretty much everything else you guys can control. All the tobacco. I know you make your own boxes. You make the cellophane. You make like the staples for the boxes. I know I've been told, and everything else. To be able to produce 99% of it and control that. I mean, that helps you too. Obviously, the less external factors you have to rely on, obviously, the better it is for your business. And so I mean, the cigars are great. The packaging, it truly stands on its own. It's an all-in-one. Every part of the product is aces. So, just keep that going. You guys are killing it.
The key word's control, right? I mean, I learned it from my dad, and we're control freaks in the best way possible. We listen. It's our last name is on every cigar, and we like to hear really good things about the cigar, especially at this point in our career. We want to make sure that we do everything from top to bottom, because at the end of the day, who's going to care more about making staples? Who's going to care more about making the boxes? Who's going to care more about making the cigars and growing tobacco more than us? It's our brand, so the cost is enormous in terms of being vertically integrated, but it's totally worth it in the long run, because to your point, we get to control every aspect, and we're extremely paranoid people, because we want to make our customers, our retail partners, and our consumers as happy as possible when they make that purchase and they buy a Perdomo cigar, and the next time they say, I'm going to buy another one, because it's consistent. So the consistency within the control is us controlling the aspects. So
that's a huge impact. Consistency. as long as the cigars are properly maintained by the retailer that has them, it doesn't matter where you're at when you pick up the cigar, it's going to smoke great.
So,
And I mean, being vertically integrated allows them the opportunity to do that, and it shows.
so Nicholas, here's a shot out of a cannon. I kind of just came up with this as we're talking. I'm thinking about, I'm like, we've talked about how you guys have executed so well and you've done so well with your cigars and this and that. So maybe from your perspective, maybe your dad has a different answer. I don't know, but from your perspective, what was an example of something that was probably like in your top, not going so well? Like, was there ever an instance where something just went so horribly wrong where you guys were like, oh no? Because I mean, you guys do such a good job and you make it look so easy. I know that it's not 100% every time. So was there ever an instance where the packaging thing or like something with a cigar where it did go so horribly wrong and you guys were just like, oh no?
No, fortunately, no. I mean, I think where we've missed the boat at certain times and where we're trying as a company to be better and especially more valuable to our retail partners is training. We've been doing a lot of live Zoom trainings. We've done 2 big sessions. We've had over 800 stores join us, which has been absolutely incredible over the last 2 training sessions. We want to, I think what lacks in our industry is actual training. We talk about the cigar, in terms of, where it comes from, the packaging we show off, everything, but, and we execute sales. But I think the biggest thing is we have to teach our consumers, we have to teach our retail partners about the cigars. So I think in terms of when we release a new brand, I think training needs to be done prior. And, we've taken advantage using a lot of technology, connecting with the retailers. I think if we could go back to some launches that we had, I think we would have taken advantage more of being able to connect with our retailers and do trainings. And I think that's probably something we've addressed as a company and we're continuing to improve on.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear. I mean, because like I said, everything always seems like it goes so well and perfect, and you guys do an amazing job. But I'm sure everybody has their flaws, and even if it's not many, that sometimes things don't always go to plan. So it's interesting to hear from you guys, something that maybe you have fallen a little short with or dropped the ball with a little bit, but you can recognize that and use all the skills you guys use with everything else to attack that and try to improve it. And yeah, it's interesting the training, and I think you're right. It's interesting to hear you say that because I guess you don't really think about that. Like, there's a lot of brands. You go into a cigar store, you see a lot of brands on the shelf, and I mean, I kind of know a little bit about how that the business works between a manufacturer and a retailer, and whether it's a rep or a broker or whatever. You guys sell the cigars to the retailers and whatever. But yeah, I mean, making sure that a retailer knows the product, knows how to sell the product, and has all the information they need, and their staff has that information. And because I mean, really, that's like Kevin said. Like, other than like the retailer maintaining the quality of the cigars, making sure they're humidified and they're fresh and all that, which I know is kind of outside your control. Once it goes to the retailer, it's really on them. But I guess yeah, the staff in the store, being able to sell the product. So it's really yeah, it's really interesting to hear, and it makes a lot of sense, and good for you guys for being able to pick that out and try to be better at that too. And I think your cigars speak for themselves, but I can see how maybe as a brand, maybe that you guys noticed that, and maybe there's been some I don't want to use the word discrepancies. I don't know if that's the right word, but things you pick up on, and you're like, oh, how can we make this better? And again, it continues to speak volumes to how you guys are as a company. So yeah, that's really interesting. Thanks for just sharing that and being so open. There's a lot of guys who come on and be like, oh no, everything's great, we don't have any problems.
I'm a family man.
That's actually a big thing, with the paying attention to your retailers and making sure they understand the product and what it is and the history behind it, the quality behind it, the blends and whatnot. Because I think all of us have probably been in a B&M at one point in time where you're like, you talk to one of the staff members there and you're like, wow, how are you even in business?
Yeah.
So they actually take the time that doesn't happen. That's huge. I mean, everybody benefits from that. You benefit from it, from the brand perspective, and the retailer benefits from it from the retail perspective, and getting their consumers to come back because they're educated and can speak eloquently and have an educated response when questions are asked about the cigars.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's everything, and we're seeing our consumers and also our retail partners, of course. There's a lot more confidence within the brand too, in terms of being able to hand sell it. We always talk about hand selling product. Well, as a manufacturer, I have to teach about the product too. We have to teach our partners, and because there's so many cigars. Yeah, it's a Nicaraguan cigar, but every Nicaraguan cigar is different, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to explain what makes my cigar different. I have to fight for every chance I can. Our company, we have to fight, for every chance we get and for every opportunity. And I think that's really what it's about.
Absolutely, especially today. So many brands now, a lot more, boutique brands, like micro boutique brands. There's some companies that have been small in the last 10, 15 years that are now getting bigger. And taking more shelf space now because they're more recognized, they get more product, whatever it is. And like we mentioned before, things get more expensive, so prices of everything's going up. So yeah, I'd say it is a lot more competitive for all of you manufacturers. So being able to adjust to that too, it's also going to be tricky as well because you can't it just happens and there's nothing you can do about it. You have to adapt to the times and find new strategies. So, yeah, I mean, like I said before, I mean, good for you guys. You seem to be able to figure that stuff out well. We've seen brands that do. We've seen brands that don't. I won't mention names, obviously, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just making the point that some have kind of figured that out more than others. So, again, Perdomo is one of those that it's you guys are all in on manufacturing and growing and all that, but also being able to really know that other half of the business. That a lot of manufacturers, they can make a great cigar, they package it well and all this, and then it goes to the retailer and that's it. And it's like, yeah, well, it's a great cigar, it's going to sell, but maybe it doesn't. And we do see that. So I'm glad that came up. So, but we are getting towards the end of the show. So I'm gonna get ready to wrap it up there. So I don't want to get too deep into anything else, but Nicholas, I want to say most importantly, thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate your time. I know you are super busy. It's great to see you, and just really thankful and honored to have you on the show with us tonight. So thank you.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me. And next time I'll be smoking a cigar. The only thing that sucked about the show tonight was I couldn't smoke a cigar. You guys look great smoking your cigars. They look great, and I'm like, man, what I would do. So, but I gotta enjoy my cigars. I'm not just gonna smoke for the sake of smoking.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you take care of yourself so you can smoke, because you gotta do blending and all that. You gotta be good. You can't kill yourself. You gotta.
Health is important.
Yeah, you gotta take care of yourself first, and then it'll.
But the next show that you invite me on, I'll be smoking with you guys.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to it, and hopefully by that time it's maybe the next cigar you're working on now, and we can talk about that. That'll definitely be exciting for sure.
What's pretty cool, and you don't know it, is that you'll be at the launch of the cigar. That's all I'm going to say. You'll be there when we actually launch the cigar.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Okay, I'm excited. I can't wait.
You don't know, but you will be there.
Okay, that's interesting. All right, I feel like I know why, but then I'm like, no, I probably don't, because why would he say that like that? He's got something. He's got something up his sleeve. I don't know what, but he's doing something. It's it's gonna be good.
My dad would have told you all about it already. I'm a little bit different. I'd like to keep it a little tight.
Really? I figured like your dad would be like, no, like we gotta like hold this back, like because you think your dad would have spilled the beans on it all and just been like, oh yeah, this is what we're doing.
Yes.
Wow, I was wrong about that.
He's the next generation, so he's got to take it to the next level, right?
Yeah, that's a fair point, Kevin. That's a good point. That's a very good point. So yeah, no, I'm excited. He's playing very close to the vest, and I like it.
Coming soon.
I, yeah,
Well,
now I'm like the anxiety level just kind of like stepped up a notch.
Anxiety. I got
It's all good.
excited.
It's all good. No anxiety.
Just waiting. It's like I'm anxious. I'm anxious for it to come out now.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
anxious to hear it.
you got a lot of you've built up some suspense here, Nicholas. So don't let us down, because it'll be we're all fired up, ready for this now. If it don't go well, we're gonna be like,
See,
Nicholas, this is on
that's
you.
my hand, and this is the fire right under here. You see that? I'm good.
Oh shit! It sounds like he's promoting the next Paul Tyson fight.
I know, right? Man, he's yeah, you're just like your dad. You know how to sell a product, in a different way, but you're good. You're good. You got the excitement there. But anyway, thanks for being on the show tonight, Nicholas. I appreciate it. It's always
Thank
great to see you.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome, and yeah, we do look forward to when you come on again. To everyone watching and listening at home, thank you so much for being here with us tonight, and having a cigar, maybe not, but enjoying the show with us and tuning in. So we appreciate it. We wouldn't be here without you guys. So nothing really to announce other than, again, 2024 CFCF raffle fundraiser, 19,000. Link is in the comments. So if you guys are interested, you guys want to donate, help support the fund and the cause, to help change some lives down in the Dominican Republic. We appreciate it. The Fuente and Newman families really appreciate it, and I know the kids and their families in that community really appreciate it. So thank you to everyone who's participated or shown support in any way possible. New prizes are going to be shared shortly, I think right after the show. So stay tuned for that on all of our social medias. Everywhere you can find us, Smokin Tabacco, social media, smokintabacco.com, and everywhere you can find your podcasts on all the podcast apps. Don't forget to like and subscribe and tune into all of our episodes. We will see you next week for our celebration show. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep it lit. We'll see you next time. See you here.